Did you know I play Brawlhalla? Now, that basically means the only human interaction I've ever had are watching these 2D characters fight each other. What that means is I know all the habits people make when they play this game. And so today, I'm going to be showing you the most common habits in Brawlhalla. That way you're able to just catch people for these stuff, and then hopefully maybe if you catch yourself making these same mistakes, you can stop them. Okay, so the first mistake a lot of Brawlhalla players make is whenever you hit them like off stage in this kind of zone right here, right? A lot of the time they just try to instantly dodge back in, right? It's because you hit them and they're like, okay, let me try to dodge because I just got hit. And then secondly, they're off stage, so they want to get back to stage. Whenever people do this, you can easily just hit them with like a quick string, right? Because you can catch their dodge. And then once they have no options, right? You just get a free KO like that, right? Obviously that's a cannon string, but for your weapon, you can build a lot of damage off of this, right? Lance 2 is really good at just taking people off stage like that, right? And your opponent's off stage, no dodge. I mean, scythe, gauntlets, so many weapons can abuse this. Battle boots especially. I know battle players 100% love to catch dodge in, even bow players, right? So definitely start abusing this when you see your opponent just dodging in like that. It's a free dodge read, right? Abuse it when you can. Okay, so the second mistake a lot of Brawlhalla players make is actually when they don't have a dodge, right? So whether you hit them with a read or they just waste their dodge and you get a free hit for it, a lot of the times they try to panic jump afterwards. So for example, if I just catch this guy for a dodge in, right? First instinct to dodge up. So a lot of times in games, right? You catch them for a dodge, you can expect a jump from them, right? Because they don't have their dodge anymore, so their second option is to jump. So it's a really easy way to just get some extra damage. If you see like, hey, no dodge, I'm gonna go for a jump read, right? And with a lot of weapons, that's really good, especially like cannon, lance, right? Let's look at another good example. Scythe, right? You catch her for a dodge and then you just catch her for going in the air afterwards, right? Same here, thanking here, right? I'm just catching him for going there, catching him for a jump. The second most common thing is if they don't jump, they're most likely gonna fast fall, so you can catch fast falling too, right? If you see them doing it. But yeah, a lot of times people just jump afterwards when they don't have their dodge. And that also goes for like just anywhere. So like let's just say they spot dodge, right? I probably can't get the bot to do it, but what a lot of people do is like I catch their dodge and I can chase them in the air, right? With an iron air, because they just instantly try to panic jump afterwards, right? And the bot's not doing it, but that's what a lot of people would do, right? So I'll just get like a ton of free nairs off of them and you can usually end it with recovery. Another good example of this is actually on Axe, right? I'll set them to like just 90 HP, right? Let's say the opponent just dodged down into me, right? And I catch her for free Starlight Nair. A lot of times they're going to try to panic jump afterwards, right? And the bot has a dodge there. Let me set them to have a jump reaction, right? But essentially they dodge down into you, catch her for free Starlight, right? And you get a recovery afterwards. And that was 90 HP. That kills, right? I think on Ragnar you might be able to even kill like 70, 60-ish, right? Because he has pretty good strength. Okay, so the next mistake a lot of people make is actually whenever you see your opponent miss a move, right? Let's just say, for example, I missed like an end light over here, right? And I'll give the Moonin like a bow, for example, right? And let's just say I'm over here, I miss an end light, right? A lot of times, people try to like jump instantly right after missing, right? That's like their big instinct is to try to jump afterwards. And so if you ever see someone like missing a move, right? You can look and see like, what are they doing afterwards? And you're like, oh, he's jumping? I'm gonna catch them for the jump, right? Because that's just a habit they're doing. That's like the most common one, right? I think especially, I've seen like a lot of Gauntlet players do it. I think I've seen Gauntlet players do it the most, right? Like, they miss a move on Gauntlet, like I should say, like an end light, they try to pan jump afterwards, right? Orb's a good example, a lot of people pan jump after Orb. Even Lance, like sometimes people pan jump afterwards. So, a lot of times you can catch people for just pan jumping after moves. Another good one is follow-ups. Right? This is mostly for weapons such as blasters, such as lance, but essentially the idea is they miss a move, right? And they instantly try to follow up with another move, right? That's literally like a blaster's game plan for a lot of people. For Ogrim, right? Ogrim players, they play lance, right? Let's say they miss like, you know, let's just say they miss like a random nair, right? A lot of times they try to follow up with like a D-light afterwards, right? They miss Sarah, right? They follow up with a D-light. The idea is if you try to move into them, you get hit by a move like that. And this is good because the D-light sends them back away, right? It backs them away, so they get into kind of a safe area. For example, like Orb again, right? If they're not pan jump after Orb, like let's just say they miss like a, let's say they miss like a Sarah, right? They can follow up with D-light afterwards. They miss a Nair, they can follow up with Side Light afterwards, right? They miss an In Light, they follow up with Side Light afterwards. You get the idea, right? They try to follow up on another move, or they try to panic jump after that, right? If you just look at what your opponent's doing after missing, right, and you can't punish something, like you're too far away, you can put yourself in a situation to when they make that same mistake, right, either they panic jump or they miss another move, right, and you can just punish them for that. That's like the most common ones I see a lot of people do, right, and especially Blasters players, that's really good against them, right, because if you see a Blasters player miss a move, you can put yourself in a situation to where you get closer to them, so when they miss another move, right, like let's just say they miss a Sarah and they instantly go to end light, you can punish them with like bow nair, for example, right, you could be like, I know this isn't like a Blaster's legend, but like, let's just say they missed like a Sarah. I could like jump here, wait for that end light, right? And I could just land on them with a free nair. Also, another one people might do is after missing, they might try to spot dodge. So, right, you see them miss a move, you wait for the spot dodge, and you just get free damage, right? Because they just wasted their dodge in front of you. And if you remember before, like I said, if they don't have a dodge, they most likely are going to panic jump. So there's even more damage for you. Okay, so the last mistake a lot of people make in Brawlhalla is whenever you're low HP, a lot of people just try fishing for SIGs, right? Especially, I've seen this with Mordex players the most, where essentially they just instantly try to go for a SIG, right? Every time you're low HP, their only option is, I'm gonna spam for a SIG, right? Wushang players do it as well, right? Another good example, just kind of any legend with like a pretty good SIG kit, right? Or just like a SIG spammy legend, right? Taros players with their Axe D SIG, Queen Nai players, Mordex players, Wushang players, even I sometimes do it myself, right? Essentially, people just try fishing for a SIG, because obviously, you know, SIG's gonna have a ton of knockback, so it's the easiest way to get a kill option, right? And like, a lot of the times, like, I could be coming back to stage, and I just see a Mordex player dodge into me, right, when I'm like, up here, and so I just instantly just jump away from them, because I just know they're gonna go for an in-sig. It's like, if I'm on Gauntless, I just wait for that in-sig, boom, and I get a free punish for it, right? I move out the way, right, punish it for free. Same thing for like if you're laying to the ground, they might try to side sig. I've seen Mordex players, like another one they do is like, they would be like standing right here, right, while you're in the air, and they just like instantly like dash to the side of the stage here and try to catch you with like a D-sig. I've seen this a lot, right? They just go to the side of the stage here, right, try to catch you with a D-sig so they can send you this way, right? But yeah, essentially just a lot of people try going for SIGs, right? And when they just start doing that, realistically, they're only spamming 3 moves. Avoid those 3 moves, you're going to get free punishes for it, right? Because you're going to know what they're going to do afterwards. So, yeah, definitely start abusing people for that. Another one they can do is they might just spam one move in general. So, like, Lance players, Cannon players, they might try to spam, like, only D-Light on Cannon, only Sarah on Lance. Same for Cannon, they might just only spam Sarah. Another one, this is a bit safer, right? But people who play Greatsword, right? A lot of them try to go for this recovery because this recovery is super safe. You have a lot of drift with it, right? So they're constantly spamming this out. Blasters players try to maybe go for, what's it called? D-Light, right? They try to spam D-Light out. Just a ton of examples like that. Diana players, right? They might try to go for this, like, bow and sig stuff, right? Sideline to bow and sig real quick, right? That's a common one people go for. Even off stage, right? A lot of people go for SIGs. I actually do this a lot because a big habit people do is they always try to go back like really high to stage, right? And so a lot of the times you could just hit them for free in-sig, and I think that should be honestly like a normal habit a lot of people have. It's just always trying to hit them for going high in the air, right? So a lot of people just try to go for like an in-sig to kill, right? Especially Mordex players, right? They see you coming back, like I said, they go for that in-sig. So look to see what your opponent's actually trying to look for, right? Because a lot of times you can just avoid that move, and then all of a sudden, you're just going to get a lot of free punishes, and then you're not even going to be, like, down HP. You're probably going to be up a stock, honestly, because your opponent's just fishing for SIGs, right? Fishing for moves. I abuse this a lot, right? I see my opponent going for something, and so actually, I'm quite happy to play at, like, a low HP, because I know what they're going to go for. I avoid it, I punish them, and then I just get free damage. And then after I lose my stock, right? Then I'm just like, man, now I don't know what they're gonna go for, right? I can't just fish for them. It's actually like, if you start catching people for it, you'll know what I mean, right? Where you're just like, man, now I don't know what they're gonna do now, right? I have to like think about their whole move kit. It makes it so much simpler whenever I just know what my opponent's gonna do. So, yeah, that's just a list of common mistakes. That's the ones I see the most of. Another one is actually if they are like getting hit in the air. So like, let's just say I hit them with like a bow and arrow. The bot can't, I don't think I can set the bot to do it, but what a lot of people do is after getting hit in the air, and I'll set the bot to Chosen real quick. It's probably going to try to, honestly, the bot might even try to go for a sig. That'll be kind of funny, right? But like a lot of people, like when they get hit, their first instinct is to try to like fast fall, and a lot of times they fast fall into the opponent, right? especially if they get sent high, like if I'm playing Lance, a lot of people might try to fast fall into me and stuff, right? What's another good example? Like, if you've ever seen Gauntlet players, right? Like a common read a lot of Gauntlet players go for, right? Is whenever they hit you in the air, like let's say they catch your dodge. I'm gonna turn off position reset and stuff, right? Whenever they catch your dodge, and let's just say they go for like Silent Recovery, a lot of times they instantly try to follow up with like a back away GC Silent Recovery to kill. Because a lot of times people just fast fall into them. So it goes for free damage, right? Just extra damage for them, right? If they catch the mistake. So yeah, definitely make sure not to just fast fall into your opponent. You don't want to be doing that, right? What I sort of recommend is like, don't be afraid to like use the time in the air. Like, don't instantly try to fast fall, right? You don't have to fast fall directly into your opponent. You can use the time to just, right, try to get back to stage. Especially if there's a platform around, you can move to the platform, right? You don't have as much movement on stage, right? That's a big thing, right? You're limited by movement. You basically have your dodge as like your only getaway, right? Because you move so slow. You can't just dash on, like, you can't dash in the air. So don't try to just fast fall into your opponent, because that's just gonna lead to you getting free hits, right? Especially if they're like a guitarist player, for example, right? They might try to catch you with D-lights, for example, right? I set this misunderstanding, right? They might try to just wait, catch you for a D-light, catch you for a nair, right? A lot of options to catch you for fast falling into them, recovery, right? So just don't fast fall into people, right? Keep that in mind. Don't fast fall in. That's a big one a lot of people do. Also, like, getting hit in the air, a lot of people tend to dodge down, right? If they ever get hit up in the air. So, like, for example, on guitars, a big string I always go for, right? Let's just put them to, like, low HP, right? I go for, like, an end light, wait for the dodge down, get that confirmed, right? Scythe players can do the same thing, where, they hit, like, an end light, they wait for the dodge down, right? And they're just gonna get, like, a ton of free damage. I'm gonna just set them to, like, 0, right? Wait for the dodge down. Catch him for that. He had his dodge back and just touched ground. Right? But just free damage, right? Off of a dodge read. And yeah, a lot of people just tend to dodge down, right? They get sent in the air. It's the same logic of like getting hit off stage. You dodge into stage. If you get hit up, you dodge down, right? If you get sent like super high, they usually fast fall. So just stuff to keep in mind. Right? I'm not saying that your opponents are automatically going to do this, so don't instantly try to read this stuff, but these are just the common things I see people do a lot of the time, so something for you to abuse.